Hi, welcome to Ed Foodie. Today we're going to make some French onion soup. It's getting winter time here, and we like to have a lot of soup in our house in the winter time. So, and this French onion soup is going to be kind of an easy way to do it. We're not going to bake it in the oven and mess up all the dishes, and it's really hard to clean up when you do it that way. So I'm going to do it a nice, easy way. We're just going to do it in the pot, pour the soup in the bowl, let the cheese melt on that, so it's going to be a lot easier. So let's get started. I've got 4 pretty good size yellow onions, that's about 3 pounds. I'm going to skin these and slice. Okay, I peeled off that first layer of skin. Now we'll just slice these into nice medium slices. So what I'll do with the onions, this is my first onion I sliced. I'm just going to pour them into a Dutch oven or a stock pot, and I've got 3 tablespoons of olive oil in. So now I'll slice up the other onions and we'll pour them in here. Okay, I've got my onions all sliced up, and I know it looks like a lot of onions in here, but as we cook these down, it'll go down dramatically. So I'm going to turn my burner to like a medium, maybe medium high. So we want to stir these a little bit, make sure we get the olive oil over all the onions. And we're going to just cook these until they cook down quite a bit, until they're pretty soft, maybe 12 to 15 minutes. You don't have to keep stirring, but keep checking on them and stir fairly frequently. Right now I'm just coating the onions, all the onions, with the olive oil. And as you cook these down, as you can see already, the slices are going to end up being a bunch of little circles, which is what we want in the end. All right, so these are looking pretty good. As you can see, they're getting soft and they've cooked down a lot. I'm going to turn down the heat to medium low. And now what we're going to do is caramelize these onions. So I've got 1 tablespoon of dark brown sugar, and I'm sure light brown sugar would work just as well. And then the one ingredient that I had no idea was in French onion soup until I made this, I got 1/8 teaspoon of nutmeg. Okay, so now we're going to stir this up real good, and as that sugar starts to cook, it'll caramelize these onions. And we're going to let these cook for about 45 minutes. Keep watching, you know, between a half hour and 45 minutes. We want these very soft, and actually on the bottom of the pan, maybe we can scrape up some little, I don't know what you call them, nibbly bits. Some of this will crust up on the bottom, hopefully, and then when we add our soup mixture, it'll give it a really nice flavor. All right, so that's stirred in good. So again, you don't have to constantly stir these. I'm gonna turn it down to medium low. But just keep an eye on it, and we'll come back. I'm gonna check on it like every 10 minutes. So we'll come back in 45 minutes. It's already only been about 10 minutes, but we can see how they're starting to caramelize. That's exactly what we're looking for. Look at that, yeah, looking really good. Good coming along very nice. And I still have about 20 minutes left to cook, so I'm going to keep a close eye on this. We may not need to cook it the whole 45 minutes. So this is what you're looking for. This is just amazing. Nice golden brown. Cooked down, very soft. So what we're going to do to this now is add in 1 cup of any kind of a dry white wine. I'm using a Chardonnay. Now we'll just leave this on medium-low and cook it for about 5 minutes. We want most of this wine to evaporate, but it'll just leave some really nice flavors in there. All right, so that's reduced a little bit. That wine flavor should be in there good. Now what I'm going to add is our beef stock, and I'm going to add in 1 quart, 4 cups of beef broth. Stir this in. We're going to bring it up to a boil. And then we're going to let it simmer for about 15 minutes, I guess. So while our soup is simmering, I've got some Gruyere cheese that I'm going to grate. And I didn't know which one of these to get, so I got both of them. We'll try 1 cup with the croutons, and then we'll try another one with the baguette crisps. I think probably the baguette will work a little bit better. So the soup's ready to serve up. Now, what you can do with the soup we've made so far, if you want to make it ahead, you could put it in the refrigerator and then bring it out when you're ready to serve, then you can do the rest of this. Now, a lot of French onion soup, you put it in these crocs and then you bake it in the oven, and I guess it looks real nice, but it's a real mess to clean up and everything, and it's so hot you have to wait 20 minutes before you can eat it. So I'm going to do it a short version. So I've got 2 bowls here, one with some croutons and one with the baguette crisps. So what I'm going to do, and I've got my soup boiling very hot because I want this cheese to melt on it. So what I'll do is we'll start with the baguette. I just turned it down. So we'll put some of the onions. So now I've got my grated Gruyere cheese, and it's at room temperature, so it's going to melt nice and fast. So what I'm going to do here now is just put a couple more of these on top. Try to get them flat so they're, and then we'll put the cheese on top. And like I said, I got that soup very hot, so this will melt real quick on there. So we'll wait for a couple minutes for that to melt. Now, for Catherine's, I don't know that you're gonna like this cheese because it's a stinky cheese. All right. So you can, do this with the croutons and that without the cheese. But we'll both try this one, and then if you don't like the cheese, I can make one without cheese. So the Gruyere cheese is pretty important to have because it's it's going to melt almost like mozzarella. It's going to be very gooey. Okay, so it's been sitting a little bit. The cheese is nice and melted. Hopefully the baguettes are a little bit soggy, not too crispy. If you like them more soggy, you can let it sit for a little bit longer. But let's take a little taste of one of these. Oh my goodness. It's so good. Yeah, so the Gruyere cheese just adds almost like a smokiness of, so, you know, very sharp cheese. Onions caramelized. You know, I wouldn't think that little bit of nutmeg makes that much of a difference, but I think that's really kind of one of the main things in here that I love. So here you have it, French onion soup. Pretty quick and easy, and you don't even have to bake it.
Maybe try.
Okay. Right.
Yeah.
So just remember, when you cut up those 4 big onions, it looks like there's an awful lot, cooks down a lot. There's actually plenty, there's probably 8 or 9 bowls there. So if you like the video, give me a thumbs up and please subscribe to Ed Foodie right over there.